Factsverse presents. The shelter refuses to let a dog go, and a woman's heart breaks when she sees his paws. Help us spread the word about Factsverse. Take your paw and click that like button. Also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. Jess Williams loved dogs. She always wanted one of her own, but, well, she had to put her dream on hold for a few years. You see, she was a student at Brown University and dogs weren't allowed in the dorms. She studied hard, did well in school, and finally she graduated. Along with her graduation came some major changes in her life. The August after Jess graduated, she and her boyfriend, Jared Couteau, decided to leave the East Coast and move to Sacramento, California, on the other side of the country. They were both tired of the cold East Coast winters, and they wanted a change of scenery. Moving to California also brought Jess closer to her family who lived in Los Angeles. Finally, Jess had a place of her own, and they allowed dogs. This was her chance to finally adopt one. When Jess and Jared moved into their new apartment, Jess wanted to get a dog right away. Jared wanted a dog, but, well, he wanted to wait a while. He wanted them to get settled into their new home first and fall into a routine. They had never lived together before, so he wanted them to get used to that first before bringing in a dog. But they compromised and agreed to get a dog for Jess's birthday in November. Jess couldn't stop wanting a dog, and she often looked at shelter websites in anticipation. She told herself that she'd just be browsing to see what types of dogs were up for adoption. She was casually browsing online. She just wanted to figure out what type of dog she wanted when she came across a photo of a dog that changed everything. Jess saw a dog at a shelter, and his name was Benji. He was a mixed breed that went to the shelter as a stray. The dog was at the shelter for 10 days, and he was in very rough shape. He had a flea allergy, and that made him lose most of his fur. But that wasn't what broke Jess's heart the most. It was the photo of Benji. He had a sad look on his face. She'd never seen a dog look sad like that before. She knew that she just had to have him. The only problem was Jared. They had an agreement, and she was worried that he'd be mad if she broke that agreement. Jess showed Jared the picture of Benji, and she told him about the dog and that she felt bad for breaking her promise, but this dog really needed their help now. At first he hesitated, but when he saw how much it meant to Jess, Jared finally agreed. He says that if he said no to this poor dog, well, he would have felt guilty. When Jared was on board, they made arrangements to adopt Benji. The shelter where Benji was staying was in Los Angeles, about 400 miles from their home. It would be a 6-hour drive one way, but that didn't bother the couple. They just wanted to help Benji. When they finally got to the shelter, Jess told the staff member what dog she was looking for. The employee went to get the manager, who told Jess that she didn't want that dog. Jess was shocked. The manager offered to show Jess and Jared other dogs looking for homes, but they refused. They drove 400 miles for Benji, and only Benji. The manager told them that Benji was aggressive and snapped at people as they walked by. But Jess didn't care. She didn't want to see Benji put down, and she was determined to take him home. Well, finally, the manager realized Jess wasn't about to give up. So the shelter manager told Jess something that broke her heart and made her want Benji even more. Benji had been abused. The shelter up until now had refused to let the dog go to anyone, and they told the woman to look at Benji's paws. Jess could see the signs of abuse, but she still didn't care. She wanted Benji at her home. She had Jess fill out the paperwork, and finally Benji was heading home. The ride home wasn't easy. Benji had never been on such a long car ride, and he was having some trouble. Jess was sure that once they got Benji home, he would be fine. Benji was confused. He was with two humans he didn't know, he was on a long road trip, and Jess told Jared any dog would be nervous in that situation. When they got Benji home, things did not settle down. He kept his distance from both Jess and Jared. It was clear he did not trust humans. They were willing, though, to be patient with Benji, and after a few days had passed, he began to warm up to his new family. He was beginning to realize that he was safe, and he started to play with his new owners. Soon he was snuggling up with them on the couch, and a few days later he wanted to go with Jess and Jared to run errands with them. Jess knew he would finally warm up to them, and she was right. She finally had the dog she always wanted, and Benji had a family that he always needed. Subscribe for more.